All right, guys, doing a little Q&A with my brother Gordon. Just got here from Chesapeake and swinging by here on his way up to our parents' house, and so thought to jump on this opportunity to, to ask him a few questions. So,
You're gonna stump me.
welcome to the channel. So,
Happy to be here.
yeah. So, this is kind of my first, guest on the show, so to say. But I wanted.
Did I
to,
overdress?
You overdressed as I did. So, what do you think of my first? What do you think of my like lime green?
I would never be seen alive or dead in that color.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm a little bit more eccentric than you are.
Mm-hmm.
So how's things going? I know your life's pretty crazy right now with, going over to Spain, checking on our mom and dad, 3 kids, 2 of them are married, one's at home. What's
Silas.
the news?
Don't leave out Silas.
Yeah, you got a little grandson. So how old is he? How's he doing?
Well, we saw him Thursday, and we usually get to see him almost every Thursday. He's doing really well. He's up on 2 feet, moving around, and beginning to get his stamina about him, and he's at that stage where he's still, very susceptible to falling. So, it's a blessing, and life is busy, but it's definitely changes. Our kid's oldest is just about 30. Michael and is married to Mallory, and that's where we have our grandchild, and then Natalia is 26, married to Mike. They live in Dallas, and today they bought a house.
Oh wow!
They
Awesome.
bought their first house out in a brand new one, so they're all excited about that.
7% interest.
Well, I think they ended up doing. I don't know. I think they ended up getting some amount of deal from the builder, and I know. Whenever you make a big purchase like that, you want to be happy about it, and I think they're very excited about the deal they got.
Yeah.
And it is a tough time to buy, but it's
you got to jump in, and when you get a
got
chance,
to move in, and they didn't want to keep renting, and so they're young,
Cool.
successful.
Cool.
And then our youngest, Mark, is still at home, but he's a successful fireman and does a great job with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really, really pleased with all
Okay.
of our children. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So what do you think of all this mess that I have down here? I know you've probably seen it at different times, but, looking at it for the last 5 minutes or so, what the heck?
Well, I'll tell you what. I watched you grow up, and the detail-oriented person that you are, I am not surprised. When I saw your channel and you getting into this structure and this process and this striving for expertise in customs, I'm not shocked at all that this is something that's a passion hobby for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's
No,
really cool.
I thoroughly enjoy it. And what's interesting to me is we didn't grow up watching NASCAR. We were football, kind of baseball, maybe hockey a little bit, not too much, but it was truly football and baseball. And so when I got, dropped into this sport, you've never really, you may have watched a few races from time to time, but
Yeah.
it's not like you have a favorite driver, favorite number, favorite race team.
Yeah.
And so, do you ever think that you'll get into NASCAR or no?
I right now.
You're supposed to say yes.
So what I used to be into a lot, I'm not even into anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost like just interests have just gone other directions. Even today, if you asked me this morning who was on playing football, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I couldn't have told you.
Yeah.
And we get to a restaurant and we see it up, and I'm interested in it.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm not gonna. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just changed.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of things going on. Focused on a few things, and maybe it's just my channel capacity is just not at the threshold where I put time into those things. I'm really into woodworking. I've got a lot into doing live edge stuff. I was finishing up a epoxy pour on a really cool live edge piece that I'm doing this morning, and my wife added a few other details that she wants a couple of the shelves
That's
above
always
it.
good. Yeah.
So I'm excited about doing that, and I've got, up at our parents, I've got just a stack of tools in the car that I'm taking up there because there were so many little things that, Dad's got a nice shop,
Yeah.
but he's missing some hand tools.
Yeah.
You know, he's got 15, 20-year old
Yeah.
sanders.
Does he still have that drill where
Yeah, he
you gotta
does.
crank on it?
Yeah.
That's funny. You still remember that metal? He had that metal plug-in electric drill.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that thing, and I remember seeing that thing spark, and I would be so afraid of it.
Yep.
Because I'm like, man, I'm going to get like shocked or electrocuted or burnt or something working this drill.
Well, when I went up there and found his cordless, I was looking for his cordless. As soon as I plugged I charged the battery up because I figured the batteries would be dead. Next day I came down, put in this battery, this triangle-looking battery that plugs in the bottom of this, Black and Decker.
Yeah.
And as soon as you squeeze the trigger, it started turning slow, but the back end started smoking. Nope, that one's getting thrown away. And then he had another one that was sort of a push button where it would just turn in your hand. Almost, it looked like a fat screwdriver, But
That's funny. That's
had
funny.
to throw all that away.
That Black and Decker's probably one that you or I bought them, like 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was your faith, and just we can always again have you back at some future time. But we grew up going to church. We grew up, going every Sunday, and I remember Mom and Dad, dropping us off for Sunday school. Dad and Mom would sing in the choir, and it was just it was our Sunday. But what I've said on my videos and what I've shared with followers is that it's good to do that. It's good to worship and go to church, but there can be a gap. There can be a mechanical routine that happens, and it's not a true act of worship, and it's not, and we're not truly engaged in worshiping God, and I don't remember ever having that relationship with Him until much later in life, and of course, as we've talked for decades, how that you went away to the Navy, and your life was changed, and I remember getting letters back from you. Talking about this one Jesus and actually having Bible verses in it. And I was like, what the heck's happened to my brother? And so if you would, take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about that time in your life and how God kind of, woke you up to who He is and what you needed to do and change in your life.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's now definitely a bit ago, but the things that I remember most about the times when God, I feel like in many ways He's been drawing me for a long time, but maybe I was just too stubborn. But there was the dynamic that when I went to the Navy, the boundaries of protection that my parents had put around me were gone, and I participated in the sins of a young man while I began in the Navy, and that there was a fear that came with that was these boundaries are gone. I really can screw up my life.
Yeah, go off the deep end.
And it caused me to a sobering effect that caused me to look for God.
Huh.
And I still remember to this day, praying on a probably was out with some friends on a Friday night, and then Saturday morning I'm praying and confessing and repenting, and then I was praying, God, please send somebody to me that can show me the right way. And that day, some men came to our barracks, knocked on the door, and invited us to come to church the next day.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I could tell some of the guys it was probably a 6-person barracks we had in Pensacola, and I was like, what did he say? Somebody else had answered the door. Yeah, I stepped out in the hallway, nobody else was interested, and I got a chance to go. There was a blessed family that the church had lined up for, people that did come, that you could spend the afternoon. You could get, a home cooked meal and fellowship.
Nothing
with
like
Christian
a free
family.
home cooked meal.
And it was life altering, right? Because it's what you were talking about with, a church and the habit of going to church bypasses the heart knowledge that God requires for, true salvation. And when you begin to see and read Scripture, really be able to go through it and see God's passion, His strategy of love for us, as sinners, as His enemy, right? I mean, we're out for ourselves, right? And and God showed, the mystery that we always have is, why does He love us? I don't know how. We can't really answer that at all very fairly if we think about it. And then the guidance that He's put in Scripture is just amazing, right? I was reading Matthew 7, and it was one of the memory verses on the Bible Gateway that I like to go to, and the verse was, if there's something you want people to do for you, that's the way you're supposed to treat them, right? Yeah. And I'm paraphrasing, but it's really think about how you want to be treated, or how you want others to treat you, and treat them that way. And just so many things that Christ shares with us to put our selfishness aside and serve others and try to get them to the point where they will ask, God is alive. And why is there something unique and special about you, and the way you act and the way you respond to things, and that's an opportunity to point them to Christ.
No, I think and talking to people on the channel and getting to know people that I may never meet, probably won't never meet, right, outside of this side of heaven, but there's so many people from different backgrounds, broken families, and didn't have the luxury of having a loving mom and dad that stayed together their whole lives, and were committed to taking their children to church. Yes, I think that was a large part of that generation, but at the end of the day, we're blessed to have that foundation. Although I think later is when we came to know Christ. It was still a great blessing to have that. But the thing that amazes me is how we have God's written word, and it's there on many people's shelves. Anybody can download the Bible app and read it. But what effectually brings people to Christ is the behavior of other Christians, and how they love people and are genuine with people, knowing that they're not perfect, but they're genuine with people, and that helps stir in their hearts the Spirit. And then it's kind of the ball's in their court at that point, where they have to say, okay, hey, I've been exposed to the world. It's a bunch of garbage. It constantly leaves you wanting more. Here's these Christian people, and they reference this book and this God. All right, what am I to do with that? I can either check into that more and seek out the truth, seek out the answers that are being offered, or I can continue to live in my the life that I have that is without God. And I think that what I'm trying to do, of course, I love making NASCAR customs, but I also want to just challenge people to not ignore that conscience that they have, and to search the Scriptures for the truth. And so that's kind of what I want to do with this channel, because we're told to pass it on, that when we receive God and experience His love, we're just so enthralled with it, we can't help but want other people to experience the same thing. And I'm so grateful that you did that with me, in buying me a Bible and encouraging me and challenging me. That I think I remember one of your letters. It I think it was one of your letters. I don't know if it was one that you spoke to me in person, but you said something about like, it's great to go to church. It's great to do good things, but it's all about Jesus. It's about this one Jesus and what you believe about him, and because he is really at the center of the whole Bible story. All 66 books kind of speak and reference and point to him and what he did on the cross. And yeah, so that's just an awesome thing. And we're on this planet for a short period of time, and I think our time's getting shorter.
Oh, it's definitely shorter.
I can feel it, being in our 50s now. But it's a wonderful thing to be able to be a part of the family of God, and to be able to be used by him to help other people come to know him. And even if it's trying to be a blessing to people and use the detailed nature that I have with this hobby, but yeah, it's just awesome to be part of the whole picture and family of God. And I owe a lot of that to you. I mean, as we've talked,
Don't give me any more credit. Give it to the Lord.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's really great to have you on the channel.
Yeah.
And so, any last words you want to share with our viewers tonight?
Well, I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings, saying I may never become a NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to see what you've done with it, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to be back for when you hit your 1,000. Looks like you're pretty close.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah. All right, love you, man.
So if you got a chance, hit like and subscribe.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks for coming on.